What if I told you this layout started as someone else's design? Today I'm taking a scrapbook layout I love and showing you exactly how I transformed it using rolled paper, mixed media and a couple of strategic design changes that completely changed the final result. By the end of this video you'll have several ideas of turning any Scraplift into a layout that feels uniquely yours. So if you're looking for Scraplift ideas, Scraplift layout inspiration, mixed media techniques or creative ways to make someone else's designs truly your own, you're in the right place. Grab your supplies, settle in, and let's just see how far we can take a Scraplift while making it still ours and uniquely you. So you saw the original layout by Louise Turner at the very beginning, and then you've seen my interpretation. I am adding in some mixed media here through my stencil. I'm using 2 mixes of the blue, and the reason I'm using the blue is because I'm bringing in the colours of my outfit in the photo, because it's important that your photos are complemented through your paper choices, and that really does make a big difference when it comes to having an overall effect. Now I'm using the very vintage collection from Scrapbook Fantasies, and it is a great range for this particular photo that I am using today, but it's also a lovely collection of paper that you need to go and check out at their website, which I'll have all the details down below. All right, so I loved Louise's layout. I actually chose it for the crew to Scraplift this week, and Tara has designated this as the Scraplift week for it. And I liked the rolled paper and I loved the bright colours. So I am, of course, not using any of that. I'm not using any bright colours. I'm going to mute it down, and I've gone with soft tonals in the soft colours. So that's the first step of making it unique and making it my own. What I'm doing here is I'm cutting up 1/4 inch strips, and I'm just making sure that I've got about 17 strips. In the end I have to add a few more, but 17 or 18 to start with. That's what I counted on Louise's, and so I thought I would just start with that, and that would give me a fair size to work with. Now I am inking up all of the edges, and that's because I want them to be distinct, and it's just another layering of texture to the layout. Now Louise has used some sort of shiny papers. I'm just using this flat matte paper, and it does the same job. I'm using my pencil to set up the roll, and I will continue and do all of those strips that you saw me, and I did both sides. And the reason I did both sides is so that I could work my way sort of like a ladder up the page, and also split and then mix up and change like Louise has on hers. Now I am going straight away different to Louise in the fact that I have changed my layering out of them. I'm not going to be totally tight to the photo. I'm going to spread it a little bit across because I actually like the design of the papers, but also I just felt that it just fitted better for my photo and the story I wanted to tell. So I'm just layering in the top and the bottom that you just saw me do, and that was so that I knew that's roughly where the photo was going to sit, and now I can cut the strips in half and start mixing and matching the colours on opposite sides like Louise's has in her layout. I love that I've gone with these muted tones, and I like that I've been able to mix them up. And the beauty of using a double-sided piece of paper to do the strips is that you get the hint of the other colour as you've done the roll. Now I did make my rolls stay in place by adding some adhesive. I put a glue and I just held them until they adhered nicely, and that makes it so much easier so that they're not unrolling on the page. And they are quite big loose loops, and I like that fact. I want them to be dramatic on the page, and that's how I've done it. Now you can see that I'm starting to overlap, and that's great because I'm starting to change the depth of the strips, and I actually get most of it done, and then I start pulling up some over onto the right because I realize I've gone too far over to the right. If I look at Louise's, she's got a lot of white space on hers. Now we all know I can't cope with white space. I like to have lots of colour and lots of detail. So when I went off screen to cut a few more strips because we needed them to fill in the gap, I manipulated a few of those strips into a tighter fit to the photo, just to, you know, give my nod to Louise's design, but also to make the photo sit a little bit easier. Now, there I have a photo of myself. This was taken at my friend's daughter's hens weekend. I'm adding in some more of the hearts from the mixed media, and that's because um, they weren't, well, they got covered up by the strips as I thought they would. So I've just added a few more in for a little bit more touch and detail. But as I said, the photo was taken from a hens weekend where we had a Bridgertonian high tea, and of course we were all dressed up accordingly. So I don't normally dress like this. It was just for that tea, and it was a great experience. So because it was for the a high tea, I thought I've gone with the printables and fussy cut them out from the very vintage collection at Scrapbook Fantasies, and they're perfect for this photo. And I'm just layering them up in the 2 plus points that Louise had on hers. I cut out the title that says resplendent. I didn't want it to be in your face, so I've really highlighted the yellow, which is in the back of the photos that you can see, and I've just gone with the lace over the top, and that's given it that vintage feel and that, you know, classic Bridgertonian feel. I've used the leaf punch to punch up the foliage and bulk up the florals, and that's really made those clusters go into place. And then I'm going to use a vintage Nouveau drop to set up the visual triangle, and I just have to get it. It's a grey, which is perfect. There is a wordy bit missing that Louise has on her, so that I have gone and I found a sheet, and I've just got that one strip of words which I'm going to put in there, and it says one of a kind. Of course I'm a one of a kind. Ask anyone that knows me. And as I said, the Nouveau drops here set up that visual triangle, and they are in a vintage grey, which is perfect for this layout. It just all comes together so easily. This is a great layout to do. The rolling of the paper was the hardest part. I did that off screen because it's a long time and you didn't need to sit through that. It is similar to Louise's. My paper rolls are at different sizes over to the right. I like that they've gone all different sizes. I didn't want them tight too much to the photo, and that's how you make a Scraplift yours. You use 70% of the structure, the same, and then 30% of the creativity. There's Louise's, and you can see it, and there's mine. Now, if all the girls are playing along, there are 10 of us, go and check out the playlist, which is linked down below, and you will be amazed at how we've all interpreted it. And some will be very similar, and others, I am sure, are going to be very dramatically differently. But I love how this turns out. What do you think, guys? Is it worth a thumbs up? If it is, hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to hype. And thanks for watching. Stay creative, friends, and I'll see you over in the next video, which I have here right now, and enjoy it. See you there soon.